स्वपदाम्बुजौ श्रीराधा मदन मोहन दिव्य वृंदारण्य कल्पाधुमाद्य श्रीमत् रत्नाघार सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमत् राधा श्रीलगोविंद देवो प्रेष्ठालिभि सेव्यमानौ स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भी वंशीवट तटस्थितः कर्षन् वेणुस्वनैर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथ श्रीयत्तुनः तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे important verses from Srimad Bhagavatam न यद्वचश्चित्रपदं हरेर्यशो जगत्पवित्रं प्रणीत कर्हिचित् तद्वायसं तीर्थमुशन्ति मानस न यत्र हंसा निरमन्तु शिक्षयः तद्वाग्विसर्गो जनतागविप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमबध्वति अपि नामानि अनन्तस्य यशुवन्कितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः यस्यां वैश्रूयमाणायां कृष्णे परमपुरुषे भक्तिरुत्पद्यते पुंसा शोकमोह भयापहा श्रीसूत उवाच आत्मा रामश्च मुनयो निर्ग्रन्थ अप्युरुक्रमे कुर्वन्ति अहेतुकीं भक्तिम् इत्थं भूतगुणो हरिः कृष्णवर्णं त्विषा कृष्णं साङ्गोपाङ्गास्त्रपार्षदं यज्ञैः सङ्कीर्तनप्रायै यजन्ति हि सुमेधसः तेयं सदा परिभवग्नमभीष्टदोहं तीर्थास्पदं शिवविरिञ्चिनुतं शरण्यं भृत्यार्तिहं प्रणतपालभवाब्धिपोतं वन्दे महापुरुषते चरणारविन्दम् त्यक्त्वा सुदुस्त्र यजसुरेप्सितराज्यलक्ष्मीं धर्मिष्ठार्यवचसा यदगादरण्यम् मायां मृगं दैत्येप्सितमन्वधावत् वन्दे महापुरुषते चरणारविन्दम् श्री हरि भक्ति सुबोधया अक्षणो फलं त्वादृशदर्शनं हि तनो फलं त्वादृशगात्रसङ्ग जीवा फलं त्वादृशकीर्तनं हि सुदुर्लभा भागवता हि लोके ऐश्वर्यस्य समाग्रस्य वीर्यस्य यशसः श्रियः ज्ञानवैराग्ययोश्चैव शन्नं भग इतिङ्गना श्रीचैतन्य नारायण करुणसागर दुखी तेरा बंधु प्रभु मोरे दया कर नाम संकीर्तन हरिहराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः गोपाल गोविंद राम श्री मधुसूदन गिरिधारी गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन श्री चैतन्य नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गीता हरि गुरु वैष्णव भगवत गीता श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Dandavat pranam all devotees. Dandavat pranam Narayan Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Mataji, we will restart our reading of the passing away of Bhishma Dev. Last time we had discussed till the 26th verse. From today we will start the 27th verse, and hopefully we should be able to finish the remaining verses by the end of this week. So I'll share my screen. Prabhuji has shared the hosting rights with me. Mataji, my screen should be visible now. Is it visible?
Not
Yes,
yet.
yes, Prabhu. No, yes,
Now
Prabhuji, I can.
now it's visible. Yeah.
Okay, Mataji. So we will read the invocation verse for the 12 Mahajans. स्वयंभू नारद शंभु कुमारो कपिलो मनु प्रह्लादो जनको भीष्मो बलिर्वैयासकी वयम् द्वादशैते विजानीमो धर्मं भागवतं भटाः Guhyam Vishuddham Durbodham Yajnatva Mutamashnute. So last class we had finished till 1.9.26. I'll just give a brief overview of what has happened so far. Uh, Bhishma Dev is lying on a bed of arrows, and after winning the war, the Pandavas, especially Yudhishthir, led by Yudhishthir, they are they are in a very morseful condition because Yudhishthir Maharaj is able to see the countless lives that have been lost as a result of the war, and he feels that he is unsuitable to occupy the throne, and because of this feeling, Krishna advises him to go and visit Bhishma Dev. So all the Pandavas are dressed very nicely, and Lord is leading them towards Bhishma Dev. Upon seeing the Pandavas dressed so nicely, Bhishma Dev is very happy. Uh, when they reach to when they reach Bhishma Dev, everyone pays their obeisances to Bhishma Dev, and Bhishma Dev, although he is physically unable to welcome them, he mentally welcomes them. Amongst the assembly, there are Brahmarshis, Devarshis, and Rajarshis, and we had discussed a few important Brahmarshis and Devarshis who have been there. So Prabhupada has given the description of Parvata Muni, Narad Muni, Dhaumya, and other great saints. So once all of them have arrived, Bhishma Dev he began Lord instructs Bhishma Dev, Lord instructs Yudhishthir Maharaj to approach Bhishma Dev. In this meanwhile, Bhishma Dev has seen Lord Shri Krishna standing over there, and mentally he pays obeisances, and he starts speaking that the Lord is indifferent, like Lord Shri Krishna, who is walking along with the Pandavas. He is non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Um, and they are crying, the Pandavas are crying upon seeing Bhishma Dev, and Bhishma Dev also has got the happy tears in his eyes, and he begins addressing the Pandavas. The first thing that he says, because to relieve Yudhishthir Maharaj from that Hridaya Daurbalyam, the sorrow from the heart, the first thing that he says is, "Oh, what terrible sufferings and what terrible injustice have been taken, have happened to you and your brothers and to your mother. This should not have happened, but you don't deserve these kinds of tribulations. Yet you are under the protection of the Brahmanas, God, and religion." So he reminds Yudhishthir Maharaj and the Pandavas of the kinds of injustices and the kinds of various kinds of tribulations that have happened to them. Then he says about Kunti Maharani. He says that his daughter-in-law Kunti Maharani, she has seen only misery since she has come into the family. So she married Pandu, and very quickly Pandu died, and then from she had to take care of five very young children, that too in a forest, and thereafter their children, her children, that is the Pandavas, they also did not make her life easy. They also gave her a lot of pain, so she has only suffered throughout her life. This is all happening because of inevitable time, and the time is basically like the clouds that cover a planet. And here Bhishma Deva says that inevitable time is indifferent from Lord Sri Krishna. um, Yeah, and then he says that everything has happened only because of the plan of Sri Krishna. Um, so he basically tells Yudhishthir Maharaj to accept that plan and just keep following it, and he should not be worried because he is under the protection of Lord. And then he starts describing about Sri Krishna. He says that Sri Krishna is not different from the inconceivable supreme personality of Godhead. He is the first Narayana. He is moving amongst our descendants. Like he is moving amongst us, just like being one of us. But this is only because he is bewildering us because of his self-created energy, and we have seen two kinds of energies being described by Prabhupada. O King, Lord Shiva, Narada, the sage among the demigods. Kapila all very confidentially know about his glories through direct contact. So he basically mentions other Mahajans. So he says Shiva, so that is Shambhu, Narada, and Kapila. So all of them, they are very well, very well aware about the position of the Lord. This is 19th verse. Then he says that he is uh, out of your ignorance only you thought of him as your maternal cousin, your very dear friend, well-wisher, counselor, messenger, benefactor. But like although he has played all these roles, he is still the supreme personality of Godhead. And since he is the supreme personality of Godhead, he is equal to everyone, and he is always free from the false ego of differentiation. So the dvandva, that is good and bad, mine and other, and all of these things are not present within the Lord. But and he's always equibalanced, and he is always free from material inebriety. Although this is true, he is still little bit inclined towards his devotees. So, although he is equibalanced, yet despite his being equally kind to everyone, he has graciously come before me while I am ending my life, for I am his unflinching servitor. So he Bhishma Dev remarks about the fortune that he has because he is a devotee of the Lord, and he says that although the Lord is equipoised, he's equally balanced. Yet for his devotee, he has little bit of compassion. The personality of Godhead who appears in the mind of the devotee by attentive devotion and meditation and by chanting of the holy name releases the devotee from the bondage of fruitive activities at the time of his quitting the material body. So again, Bhishma Dev tells us he is instructing us because he is one of the Mahajans, and Mahajans they are very well aware of the original dharma, the Bhagavata dharma. He is again telling us the technique of quitting our material body. He says that the personality of Godhead will appear. He will appear in the mind of the devotee by attentive devotion. So, just having the feeling of devotion, the wavering feeling of devotion is not enough. It should be unwavering and it should be attentive. So, the Lord appears in the mind of devotee by attentive devotion and attentive meditation. So we have to keep on meditating upon the Lord, his names, his glories, and his form. And we should be also constantly chanting about his name, fame, and glories. So by chanting of the holy name, the Lord releases the devotee from the bondage of fruitive activity. So Lord intervenes and he picks out his devotee out of the cycle of birth and death at the time of the devotee's quitting of the material body. Then he starts praying to the Lord. So after addressing the Pandavas and after addressing the assembly, he is now directly conversing with the Lord. This is 24th verse. May my Lord, who is four-handed and whose beautifully decorated lotus face, with eyes as red as rising sun, is smiling, kindly await me at the moment when I quit this material body. So he's praying to the Lord, saying that when I quit my material body, oh Lord, please be present with us, with me. Then Sutta Goswami says that Maharaj Yudhishthir, after hearing Bhishma Dev speak in that appealing tone, now he starts asking him about the duties that he has to follow as the king of Hastinapur. So he asked him in the presence of great rishis about the essential principles of various religious duties. So here very beautifully Lord is telling like Lord is showing how good or how great his devotee is, because there are so many great rishis present in that assembly. There is Vyasa Muni, like there is Vyasadev, Narad Muni, Parvat Muni. All are very well equipped to teach Yudhishthir Maharaj. Even Yudhishthir Maharaj has his own council, but even then Lord had asked Yudhishthir Maharaj to approach Bhishma Dev and ask him about the duties of a king. So he basically requests Bhishma Dev to tell him about the essential religious principles for various duties. So upon Maharaj Yudhishthir's inquiry, Bhishma Dev first defines the classification of castes and the orders of life in terms of individual qualifications. So he starts explaining Bhishma Dev about the Varnashrama system. So Arjuna learned Varnashrama dharma from the Lord, and Yudhishthir Maharaj learned it from Bhishma Dev. Then he systematically, in twofold divisions, described counteraction by detachment and interaction by attachment. So he describes the various principles of attachment and detachment and their interactions with the people. So we finished over here. This was the 26th verse. This is where we had stopped last class. We will start from the next verse in today's class. So this was a very long purport. Um, 27th verse. Dana dharman, raja dharman, moksha dharman vibhagashah, stri dharman, bhagavad dharman, samasavyasa so samasavyasa yogatah. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. He then explained by divisions, acts of charity, Dana Dharman, the pragmatic activities of the king, Raja Dharman, and the activities for salvation, Moksha Dharman. Then he described the duties of women and devotees, both briefly and extensively, Sri Dharman and Bhagavad Dharman. Purport: to give charity is one of the householder's main function, and he should be prepared to give in charity at least 50% of his hard-earned money. And we know this even in the Nectar of Instructions. The Goswamis are telling us how we should be engaging our householder life in supporting the other three ashramas. So it's only in the Grahastha ashram that that a living entity is accumulating wealth, because in the brahmachari ashram and the vanaprastha and sannyasi ashram, these ashramas are not meant to accumulate or acquire wealth. They are meant to acquire the knowledge, and they are meant to acquire the wealth of renunciation, and then the true religious principles, the Bhagavad Dharma. So only in the life of householder that a living entity is earning, and it is his duty to support the other three ashramas. A brahmachari or student should perform sacrifices. A householder should give charity, and a person in the retired life or in the renounced order of life should practice penances and austerities. Those are the general functions of all the ashramas or orders of life on the path of self realization. In the brahmachari life, the training is sufficiently imparted so that one may understand that the world as a property belongs to the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead. So, in the brahmachari ashrama, it is the duty of the guru, it is the duty of the students to understand from the guru that the world is not the property of the living entity, it is the property of the Supreme Lord. No one, therefore, can claim to be the proprietor of anything in the world. And we are trained in the Brahmachari ashram. I distinctly remember this. We used to label our books. It is a habit right from childhood. We had the habit of putting covers and labeling our notebooks and textbooks. So this even in the college, I continued this, especially for the important books like journals and lab journals and other textbooks. So I was staying in the base, and one of my seniors, he instructed me that rather than putting my name, just putting my name, just before the name, we should be having I/C in care of Nikhil Sardesai. So it is because it all the things that are present in the material universe, everything is the property of the Lord, and for some brief moment, for some brief time, it is given to us to be taken care of. So Prabhupada was very particular about spending of money, about spending of energy. So he used to say that everything belongs to the Lord. The money belongs to the Lord. The energies in the form of electrical energy, the heat energy, in the form of water, everything belongs to the Lord, and we should be very judicious in using it, so that we don't waste it. So he was very careful and he instructed everyone. And I remember this from one of the lectures given on the glorification of Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj. Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj, he has established ISKCON Bhubaneswar, and he's a very, very exalted devotee and a very exalted disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Um, Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj had enough, after some time, after being in ISKCON, after taking sannyas, he had enough Lakshmi with him to basically allow him to ride a rickshaw. Because he was very keen in printing books, and the printing press was not very near to ISKCON Bhubaneswar. It was very far away. So Maharaj, even in the advanced age, he used to walk around 2 kilometers to the bus stop, ride the bus, which had a fare around 4 rupees, get down of the bus, even in the hot summers of Bhubaneswar, then walk around 3 kilometers to the printing press, give his manuscripts over there, check the printing material, then again return back to ISKCON Bhubaneswar. So this used to be a complete day's job. And some of the devotees, some of his disciples, they requested Maharaj that you please allow us to book a rickshaw for you, so that you can directly go and come back very soon, so that you don't have to miss your meals. And Maharaj used to carry only bananas with him, so he very often he used to miss his meals as well. So he used to start at around 7 o'clock. From after doing the morning routine, he used to start at 7 o'clock and then return back at only 9 o'clock at night. So they requested him, and Maharaj said that how much will it cost? They said 40 rupees. It will cost you 40 rupees. So Maharaj said no, because it is 10 times more than what I am spending. So Prabhupada has asked me to use the money very judiciously. So I will keep doing what I have been doing so far. This happened until some devotee donated a car, and then his life became a little bit easier of going to the printing press. So here it is written that everything in this material world is the proprietor. Lord is the proprietor of all this activity, all these things. No one therefore can claim to be the proprietor of anything in the material world. Therefore, in the life of the householder, which is a sort of license for sex enjoyment, one must give in charity for the service of the Lord. Everyone's energy is generated or borrowed from the reservoir of the energy of the Lord. Therefore, the resultant actions of such energy must be given to the Lord in the shape of transcendental loving service for Him. So, whatever money is coming as a part of salary, it is basically generated from the reservoir of the energy of the Lord. And if we are basically using it for the service of the Lord, it makes Him very, very happy. As rivers draw water from the sea through the clouds and again go down to the sea, similarly, our energy is borrowed from the supreme source, the Lord's energy, and it must return to the Lord. That is the perfection of our energy. The Lord, therefore, says in Bhagavad Gita 9.27 that whatever we do, whatever we undergo as penance, whatever we sacrifice, whatever we eat, or whatever we give in charity must be offered to the Lord. Yat karoshi yadashnashi. That is the way of utilizing our borrowed energy. When our energy is utilized in that way, our energy is purified from the contamination of material inebrities. And thus, we become fit for our original natural life of service to the Lord. There might be a chance where, if we generate, if we accumulate enough wealth, we start feeling that we are very, very rich. We will try to use it for non-essential purposes. Prabhupada has made it very clear that in the Grahastha ashram, the wealth that is accumulated can be used and should be used for oneself, only to keep the body and the soul together. So whatever is the most essential requirement, for that the use of the wealth is allowed. Besides that, for very, very like exalted luxurious items, it's not required. If the thing can be done by a simple thing, it is basically advised that we should be basically having a simple life, simple living and high thinking. So this was the Dana Dharma. Then Raj Dharma. So Rajdharma is the great science, unlike modern diplomacy for political supremacy. The kings were trained systematically to become munificent and not merely be tax collectors. They were trained to perform different sacrifices only for the prosperity of the subjects. To lead the prajas to the attainment of salvation was a great duty of the king. The father, the spiritual master, and the king are not to become irresponsible in the matter of leading their subjects to the path of ultimate liberation from birth, death, disease, and old age. So the duties of a father, duties of the spiritual master, and the king has been written very clearly over here by Prabhupada. The king is basically the father of the entire kingdom, and as being the father of the entire kingdom, the person should be performing sacrifices and training their subjects in the in the life of Bhagavata Dharma, so that they are not re-entering as living entities. When these primary duties are properly discharged, there is no need of government of the people by the people. In modern days, the people in general occupy the administration by the strength of manipulated votes, but they are never trained in primary duties of the king, and that is also not possible for everyone. So, very clearly, Prabhupada is telling us about the fallacies of democracy. It is basically whoever has got the most number of votes wins, and it is irrespective of whether the person asking for the votes has got the knowledge of Rajadharma. Does the person really know how to rule over a kingdom? Under the circumstances, the untrained administrators play havoc to make the subjects happy in all respects, and we are seeing so many wars taking place. On the other hand, these untrained administrators gradually become rogues and thieves and increase the taxation to finance a top heavy administration that is useless for all purposes. So the top becomes very, very heavy and the bottom becomes very, very malnourished, and the entire government falls, the entire society falls. Actually, the qualified brahmanas are meant to give directions to the king for proper administration in terms of scriptures like Manu Samhita and the Dharma Shastras of Parashara. So, Parashara Muni has written Dharma Shastras, and we also know there is Manu Samhita, and the king should be trained in the art and the science of ruling over a kingdom based on these Shastras. A typical king is the ideal of the people in general, and if the king is pious, religious, chivalrous, and munificent, the citizens generally follow him. Such a king is not a lazy, sensuous person living at the cost of the subjects, but alert always to kill thieves and dacoits. In the Manu Samhita and in Dharma Shastras, it is very, very the orders of punishment have been laid down. So there is like thieves, murderers, and those who like the rapists and the dacoits, they are given the capital punishment, so that these punishments, they basically help them atone their the kinds of what do you say, the adharma that they have performed in the material life, so that they are not given big punishment in their uh, in the hell. So the capital punishment is given in the material life itself, so that it can reduce the amount of punishment that the soul will receive for doing such adharmic activities in the hell. The pious kings were not merciful to dacoits and thieves in the name of nonsensical ahimsa, non-violence. The thieves and dacoits were punished in an exemplary way, so that in future no one would dare commit such nuisance in an organized form. Such thieves and dacoits were never meant for administration as they are now. Now we are seeing the entire thing has been turned upside down. Now the thieves and the rogues are basically ruling over us, and we have there's no need to name any examples. We can just see in the newspaper. We can just follow the news. Wherever there is democracy, you are going to find either one or the entire administration filled with thieves and rogues. The taxation law was simple. There was no force, no encroachment. The king had a right to take one fourth of the production made by the subject. The king had a right to claim a fourth of one's allotted wealth. One would never grudge parting with it because, due to the pious king and religious harmony, there was enough natural wealth, namely grains, fruits, flowers, silk, cotton, milk, jewels, minerals, etc., and therefore no one was materially unhappy. So we see this. I'm forgetting the name. Uh, this is in Srimad Bhagavatam itself. There was There's one incarnation of the Lord. Mataji, do you remember this incarnation where the Lord took birth as a king, and then he punished
Prithu
uh,
Maharaj. Prithu
Prithu
Maharaj.
Maharaj, na? Yeah,
Yes,
Prithu
yes.
Maharaj, yes. Prithu Maharaj. So, in the form in the incarnation of Prithu Maharaj, before Prithu Maharaj, because of the atrocities, Mother Earth had hid, and she had taken back all the supplies of grains, fruits, flowers, silk. These are basically the wealth. Nowadays, wealth is completely different. What we consider wealth is completely different. But originally, wealth is basically having enough grains, enough fruits, enough flowers, enough silk, enough cotton, enough milk, jewels, minerals, and aushadhi, etc. contains aushadhi. So someone might claim that okay, Hanumanji had taken the Mandara Parvat, and which had all these jadi booties. Where are they now? So they are not. We should not be challenging that, because in Srimad Bhagavatam it is written, as time progresses, uh, Mother Earth starts taking back everything that she has supplied because of the impious activities that is taking place. Earlier, the kinds of fruits, the kinds of vegetables, the kinds of aushadhi that we were getting, even in Kali Yuga, we can see this. If we can ask our previous generations, the kinds of flowers, the kinds of fruits, the kinds of aushadhi, the Ayurvedic aushadhi, these were so pure, and we are seeing it by the enhanced use of pesticides, fertilizers, all of these things. We are basically killing what we are trying to grow. So if the atmosphere is pure material sense enjoyment, Mother Earth will quickly take it back. So because the king was pious, and the king was not forcing people to pay their taxes, and there was a religious harmony, there was enough fruits, enough natural wealth available. The citizens were rich in agriculture and animal husbandry, and therefore they had enough grains, fruits, and milk without any artificial needs of soaps and toilets, cinemas, and bars. So, what is considered to be as material enjoyment, material wealth nowadays, was looked down upon in the previous times. The king had to see that the reserved energy of humanity was properly utilized. Human energy is meant not exactly for fulfilling animal propensities, but for self realization. The whole government was specifically designed to fulfill this particular purpose. As such, the king had to select properly the cabinet ministers, but not on the strength of voting backgrounds. The ministers, the military commanders, and even the ordinary soldiers were all selected by personal qualification, and the king had to supervise them properly before they were appointed to their respective posts. So in Ramayana, the role of Sumant, the advisor, the personal advisor to Dhritarashtra, to Lord Rama, and for the entire for the entire kingdom of Ayodhya, the role of Sumant, the way he speaks to Maharaj Janaka is very very beautiful. So a lord has just broken the bow, and his marriage with Sita Mata has been decided, but Lord has said that he will only marry Sita Mata once he gets the approval from his father. So a messenger of Janaka goes to Ayodhya, and Sumant comes from there to speak about to tell the message, to give the message to Lord Rama. So here Janak Maharaj tells that you have been trained very properly. So even the roles of messengers, the role of royal advisors, they had specific roles and they had specific trainings. Um, the king was especially vigilant to see that the tapasvis or persons who sacrificed everything for disseminating spiritual knowledge were never disregarded. The king knew well that the Supreme Personality of Godhead never tolerates any insult to his unalloyed devotees, and Prabhupada has written this in italics. So it is very, very important that we should not be tolerating any insults to his unalloyed devotees. Such tapasvis were trusted leaders even of the rogues and thieves who would never disobey the orders of tapasvis. If the tapasvis ordered the rogues and thieves to drop their arms and to drop their activities, they would do so. The king would give special protection to illiterates, the helpless, and the widows of the state. Defense measures were arranged previous to any attack by the enemies. The taxing process was easy and it was not meant for squandering but was for strengthening the reserve fund. The soldiers were recruited from all parts of the world and they were trained for special duties. Now, as far as salvation is concerned, this is the moksha dharma. One has to acquire, one has to conquer the principles of lust, anger, unlawful desires, avarice, and bewilderment. To get freedom from the anger, one should learn how to forgive. To be free from unlawful desires, one should not make plans. By spiritual culture, one is able to conquer sleep. By tolerance, one conquer desires and avarice. Disturbances from various diseases can be avoided by regulated diets. By self control, one can be free from false hopes, and money can be saved by avoiding undesirable association. By practice of yoga, one can control hunger, and worldliness can be avoided by cultivating the knowledge of impermanence. Dizziness can be conquered by rising up, and false arguments can be conquered by factual ascertainment. Talkativeness can be avoided by gravity and silence, and by prowess, one can avoid fearfulness. Perfect knowledge can be obtained by self cultivation. One can be free from lust, avarice, anger, dreaming, etc. One must be free from all of these to actually attain the path of salvation. So the moksha dharma, to go onto the path of salvation, one has to be free of lust, anger, unlawful desires, avarice and bewilderment. And here Prabhupada has told what should be done to conquer these things. From anger, one has to, if you want to conquer anger, we have to forgive. If you want to conquer the desires, unlawful desires, one should not make plans, because unlawful desires, that is the desires that are not allowed for a certain ashrama or certain dharma, a certain varna, that can be avoided by avoiding making plans. uh, if we have a spiritual culture at our homes, we can conquer sleep. We can sleep. By conquering sleep doesn't mean not sleep, but to sleep enough as to keep the body functioning. By tolerance, one can conquer desires and avarice. Disturbances from various diseases can be avoided by regulated diets. So, having a proper diet can help us avoid diseases. Self control can make us free from false hopes, and money can be saved by avoiding undesirable association. So only by associating with bad people or with unlawful people, we see that how they are spending money, what kind of facilities they have, and desire come in our heart. So by avoiding such association, we can save money. By practice of yoga, one can control hunger, and worldliness can be controlled by cultivating the knowledge of impermanence. Worldliness basically means, oh, I am of this world. We can be over there. We can be over here. The entire world is us. is ours, society or the entire human society is basically Narayana. So all of these improper knowledge can be understood, can be controlled by having the knowledge of impermanence, that nothing is permanent. Dizziness can be controlled by rising up, and false arguments can be controlled by factual ascertainment. Talkativeness, if someone is very talkative, the person is asked to be very, very grave and very, very silent. And prowess can help avoid fearfulness. So if we have got fear in our heart, we should be having prowess. So that spiritual prowess will help us to be abhaya. The last two paragraphs, and we can end the class now. As far as the women class are concerned, they are accepted as the power of inspiration for men. So women have a very, very special role to play. Prabhupada says that women are basically the source of inspiration for men. As such, women are are more powerful than men. Mighty Julius Caesar was controlled by a Cleopatra. Such powerful women are controlled by shyness. Therefore, shyness is important for women. That is modesty. Once this control wall is loosened, women can create havoc in society by adultery. Adultery means production of unwanted children known as Varna Sankara who disturb the world. And we read about this and we know about this from Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna, before the war starts, he says that if I start killing everyone, and I can kill everyone. If I kill everyone, what will happen? There will be so many widows, and these widows, they might seek new partners, and there will be Varna Sankara. So the only way the entire society is basically on the behest of women and on the behest of the modesty of the women. And if women are modest and if women are shy and very, very grave, then they can control the men, and then the entire society will be spiritually inclined. So, and we know this in the even the home. Um, the role the mother plays is very, very large. If the mother is very, very grave and sincere in spiritual advancement, the child that is born in the house is also very grave and also takes upon onto the path of spiritual advancement. The last item taught by Bhishma Deva was the process of pleasing the Lord. That is Bhagavata Dharma. We are all eternal servants of the Lord, and when we forget this essential part of our nature, we are put into material conditions of life. The simple process of pleasing the Lord, for the householders especially, is to install the deity of Lord at home. By concentrating on the deity, one may progressively go on with the daily routine work. Worshipping the deity at home, serving the devotee, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, residing in the holy place, and chanting the holy name of the Lord are all inexpensive items by which one can please the Lord. Even in Nectar of Instructions, we know this. Having deities at home by doing Bhagavad Seva, that is both the Bhakta Bhagavat and the book Bhagavat, by residing in the holy places like Dwarka, Mathura, Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri, and by chanting the holy name of the Lord, these are very, very inexpensive items. And by doing such very small, inexpensive things, we can please the Lord. Thus, the subject matter was explained by the grandfather to his grandchildren. Hare Krishna. So we will end for now and tomorrow's class. Now, from now on onwards, the purports are very, very small. So we should be able to cover a lot of verses. Hare Krishna. I'll stop sharing.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी। Mataji, there is one more class to start, so we will stop
Yes,
it now. Yes, Mataji.